everybody. Welcome back. Get this turned down a bit because Lord knows I was trying to figure out where our sound was and everything was with this. I'm hoping I'm doing okay with this one. Yeah, still a little bit loud over here. That's a little bit of a delay background noise there. Anyway, thanks you guys for joining me on Whiskey Wednesday. I am flying solo again today, which is okay because I got a lot of stuff going on here, so it would be kind of difficult to share that with somebody else because I'm going to walk you through some of my simple syrup purees and how I really enjoy just kind of playing with some different flavors and again coming up with some of these cocktails for you guys to share. So I think what I'm going to start with is the strawberry puree. This one is it's really good. I do this with all different kinds of jams and preserves and honey, anything that's kind of a thicker consistency. I really like to use these preserves in that. So for this one, what I'm going to do is, this is a big jar. I would go through this, but I'm probably just going to half this for you guys so you can get an idea of how much I use. So this is a 32-ounce jar of preserves. I'm going to probably put about a half of that just into, you know, Pyrex mixing cup, measuring cup and that, so you can see how I'm going to mix this. So I got a nice big blob of strawberry preserves. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about half of that, 50% of that in boiling water. So I've got in here, I think I've got, let's say 2 cups. It's half the jar. About 2 cups of that. I'm going to add about a cup of boiling water. So I'm going to do just enough to kind of coat this and get this kind of going. So I'm right at about another cup in this, maybe about a half a cup, a little bit more. All right, I want to make sure I keep that where it's warm. And then I'm just going to whisk this. So it takes just a second to kind of break down that gelatin that you've got in the preserves, but it doesn't take long. I mean, this is something you can do with frozen fruit or fresh fruit and that over the stove or in the microwave if you want to heat it. I just have found I have the kettles both here and at the house. I just found that this works pretty well. So this one, I probably overshot this just a little bit. I probably should have gone, these preserves are pretty, these are a little bit thinner. I'm going to add just a little bit more because I want it just a tiny bit. I don't want it too thin. I don't want it to be watery. Oh, what the hell. We're going to add this whole jar because I'm going to use this all weekend long. Just going to get this. If I need to add a little bit more boiling water, I will. But you're going to see that this is so worth it. And this is a great thing that you can store in your mason jars that you guys have from your, mason jars to go in that. So these, see, this is getting a little bit better. It's just breaking it down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a container that I can shake it up and I can just use it in the fridge. So you can see this has got some nice good chunks of the strawberries. Oh my God, this one's going to be really, really good in the lemonade. So I did a whole jar, so that was 32 ounces, so about 4 cups, and then I added about a cup of boiling water to that, and you just have to play with it. Some of these, like these apricot preserves, are super thick, so I easily do, if this is 18 ounces, I'd add about a cup of water to this one. These are thick. You just have to play with the preserves, and I would, like, instead of like I did, adding as much water as I thought, ease the water into that. So maybe start at a quarter of what you need into that and then keep adding. These are, this jar, if you guys see this at Food Lion, I'm trying to see if I can find one because I usually peel all the labels off. Let me just see if I do have one. This brand at Food Lion, it's Braswell's. These preserves are so yummy. This is a fig one and I'm dying to do this one next week. If I can get my hands on some fresh figs, I'd love to do a fig fashion and then slice some figs on it. This blueberry one's really good. They have red pepper jelly. They have pear, all kinds of wonderful flavors in that. And I just think that those make such great additions to your cocktails. So now I'm just gonna pour this into like a little container. So I have this. You can see it's kind of thick. But those nice big chunks of strawberries are gonna sit in the bottom of the lemonade. And I just think it's gonna be fantastic. These, I think I buy these at Walmart for like $1.50 or something. These are pretty inexpensive, but they work really well, especially if you're just gonna be playing in, you know, with some of these different flavors and that. And this one, and then it's just nice because I can shake this one up. So these come in different sizes, and that I just really like using these for my different purees. I just think that makes it super simple. So with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take in a tasting jar. I'm going to make this as a strawberry mint lemonade. So I'm going to take our basic lemonade recipe, which you guys have, most of you have had here at the tasting room. And I'm going to put 1 ounce of our mint whiskey. If you guys don't have any of these shot glasses, we are giving these away with any 2-bottle purchase. So just to give you an idea, we talk about measuring. This is really good measures in this. On the bottom of the hammer is a 1/2 ounce, and then at the top of the hammer is a full ounce. So that's just a nice measurement for you. And then for those that like to go to the top, we don't judge. But I'm going to, just for tasting purposes, because I am regulated by the ABC to do it a certain way, I've added the mint whiskey. And then, as you guys know, my favorite, Simply Lemonade. It's got a nice tartness to it. It's going to come out with that strawberry really well. I'm going to fill the jar just to the top of Springfield with your Simply Lemonade. And then this is when I'm going to add that little bit of preserve. So I've got this all nice and mixed up. And let's just say I'm going to put about a 1/2 ounce in that. Let's just see. Ooh, that's a full ounce in there. Why not? Let's go with that. And then, and you can play with this. You can decide you want a 1/2 ounce. You can do a full ounce. You can put a little bit more in there. And then I'm going to top this one with Sprite because I want it to be more of like a spritzer, like a lemon strawberry mint spritzer with this. So I've got this, and I am going to give this a nice little stir with that puree. So you can see that puree, and then there's some nice little chunks of the strawberry in that. And just because I want it to look pretty, I'm going to take just a few slices of strawberry on top of that, and those will float right on the top. But look at how cute that does. Look at how cute that is. That's a nice little strawberry. Like this. You could change this up. You could do this with raspberry preserves. You could do this with the apricot preserves. That would be so good with the lemonade, especially starting as we're getting ready to go into fall. Blueberries, blackberries, I mean, just any of your fruits. Like you could just squish this up and do any, if you've got a jam or a preserve, turn this into it and add this to the lemonade. This one's good. Yeah. This is going on the menu this weekend. So that was just a reminder. This is that mint whiskey. I have an ounce of the mint whiskey in here. I've got this jar about half. I should have done this in the big jar. This is good. Halfway with Simply Lemonade. Put just a little bit of that strawberry puree or whatever puree you're going to use from preserves or jams, and then top that off with Sprite. This would be really pretty in a punch bowl if you guys were having friends over, an end of summer Labor Day party. And then just float your strawberries and some lemons on the top of that, and it would just be perfect. This is pitcher worthy. Pitcher worthy means you would pour this in a pitcher and pass around at a party. I would make a pitcher of this one. Not too sweet. That strawberry, funny enough, as sweet as it is, with the lemon in that, it's not super sweet. So that was a good one. I like that one. Okay. Next one I want to do, and this one I'm going to do a little bit bigger. I'm going to put some ice in our big jar. And I made us some sweet tea. This is just your regular old sweet tea. I got this from Walmart. And I want to do a peach one. So I'm going to put some of that iced tea in there. Now this one would be super good. You could have done this one with the mint. Mason's, one of his favorites with sweet tea is the mint whiskey. If you haven't tried it, it is super good. But I wanted to do a like a peach honey type cocktail. Sorry, I've got my stuff like all across the room today. I'm going to put a full 1.5 ounces of that peach whiskey into this sweet tea. Got my ice in there, and then this is one with that honey puree, the honey simple syrup that I've made. If you guys don't remember, I've done this before here in the taste room. I don't know why the heck this one's leaking, but it is. There we go. If you've got like a little bit left over in honey in your container in your cupboard and that, I really like to take the honey, and I do 50% boiling water in that. I like it nice and thin because I want it to dissolve when I add it to the cocktail. So what I've done with this one is just half honey, half boiling water. I just keep this in the fridge. It's super easy to use. You can add this to any of your cocktails that you're making. And I'm just going to do a little swirl of that honey in there. So this is a honey simple syrup. You can also do this with maple syrup. You can do it with that brown sugar simple syrup that we made a couple weeks ago when we were at the house. And these just mix really well in your cocktails. It adds a little bit of sweetness. If you want to do seltzers and you just want a little bit of like a natural sugar in there, the honey is a really good way to do that. There's also the spicy honeys that you can do if you want to play with those. I just think those add a nice flavor to it. Sorry, I've got honey all over the hand, so I'm going to just quick rinse those off. So what I've done with this again is just the peach whiskey. It's just an iced tea, and then I've added a little bit of that honey simple syrup to it. And I really hope this one's going to be good, because this is definitely one that I would like to do this weekend. Okay, I would make this one just a tiny bit sweeter for me. So I'm going to put a nice good splash of the honey in there. But I love the way that that peach comes out of the iced tea. Oh yeah, this is really good. And I would probably garnish this, as you guys know, with orange. Orange is my favorite. I like giving it a good squeeze, sticking a nice piece of orange down in there. I think this is going to bring out more of that peach flavor. Yeah, this one's going to be dangerous because you taste the peach, but you don't necessarily taste the whiskey. The iced tea kind of balances that. And then you've got that nice sweet honey. This would also be really good with maple syrup, but I think that broken down honey simple syrup is really good with this. This is one you can add a splash of the lemonade to if you wanted to do the Arnold Palmer. I think we did that with the peach before, but I really like the way that the honey comes out in the tea with the peach. The other thing that you could add if you wanted just a little bit more peach flavor, because as you guys know with our whiskeys, we don't go crazy on the flavor. We want it sippable. It definitely not trying to do a moonshine with this where it's really heavy on the flavor to kind of mask the whiskey flavor. We prefer having a stronger whiskey flavor with that. I'm just looking to see if I can see the little comments because I don't see anybody. I didn't see it, but now I'm seeing it now. Okay. So I think that is the way that you can add a little bit more flavor. If you want a little bit more flavor with the peach, if you guys haven't seen these at Food Lion, these are really yummy. They're super inexpensive. I think these are like $3 for these. They come in the peach, a mango, and a strawberry at our Food Lion in South Boston, Halifax area in that. If you want just a little bit more sweet, want a little bit more flavor in that, you can put just a little swirl of that peach in there, even with ginger ale, with the iced tea, with lemonade, with seltzers, any of that stuff, and just give it a nice little extra flavor. Yeah, I think Mason would like this. He'd prefer it if I used the mint whiskey, the mint honey with the iced tea would be really good. And I think what I might do this weekend is just let you guys pick your whiskey. So it would be a honey sweet tea, and then pick your whiskey. If you don't like the mint, you can pick the peach. If you don't like the peach, maybe you pick the cantaloupe or the 90 honey and just give it a little bit more. That one I think also would be super good with our brown sugar cinnamon whiskey. So that is what I would do with a honey puree with the sweet tea. Made a little bit of a mess. My honey and just everything kind of went a little bit all over. So again, just kind of going back through because I don't want to miss if you guys are just joining that stuff. The strawberry puree, I did this with just a jar of strawberry preserves. And then this was 32 ounces. I do about a quarter, about 8 ounces, 1 cup of boiling water in this. Break this down. It just lets that gelatin kind of melt and then mix in your cocktails. So this is great with lemonades, whiskey sours, Tom Collins, old fashions, just ginger ale. Like you could just kick up your ginger ale if you just want to be a minimalist like Mason who likes just 2 ingredients. You could pick a whiskey, ginger ale, and then just add whatever puree that you want to do to that. That would be really, really good with that. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do, I'm kind of going a little bit all over the place with this, is just wanted to kind of show you how I put stuff in just to keep things easy for the cocktails. This is one of these just like little barbecue things. I think they sell these at Walmart for $1. At the dollar store they are $1. You can get, I think, a 6-pack on Amazon for really cheap. What I like to do is instead of like having all these different containers out, I like to put my maple syrup in it. You can see this is one I use. This is the one that I use in a James's Mule. So maple syrup, you don't really have to do it. It's nice and mixable. I wouldn't break this one down, but I keep this in here because I like adding a little bit of maple syrup to a lot of our cocktails, especially like the mules and that. With that, so the mule I'd like to do this week, and I'm going to just show you how we would do it if we went out. When James and I go to dinner, you know, with the Garretts or the Osmers or that, a lot of times what we do if we're going to take cocktails with us is we take a bottle of the blackberry whiskey and typically a 6-pack of the Gosling's ginger beer. Kathy found me these up in Northern Virginia in the 33 ounce. They're much cheaper. If you guys are in Northern Virginia watching us or in Richmond and you find these in these little ones, this is like the perfect size for 2 to 3 cocktails at night. So, you know, if you and your better half are going to do some cocktails, that's easy to do, and then you don't have to go to the expense of all the little cans. This one is really, really popular. This is probably one of our more popular mules. This is our blackberry mule. This one is a slam dunk if you're going somewhere. If you had to take drinks with you or you're going to a party or a celebration, this is a very, very easy one to do. I would take 1 ounce of our blackberry whiskey, and then I'm just going to add the Gosling's ginger beer. If you have your cans, you just want to fill this up. This makes a perfect mule. The other one that is really perfect, exactly how I just made that, is with the mint. If you like the mint whiskey with the ginger beer, it's fabulous. And then just a good squeeze of lime. I'm just putting a good squeeze of lime in this one. This is, I would stop right here, wouldn't do anything else. Very, very good. Oh God, this one is so good. This one is definitely going, I haven't done the blackberry plain mule in a while. This one is really good. I'm just looking because I had some blueberry preserves somewhere. Sorry. Missing them. I think I'll just open some new ones. These are some really inexpensive. These fruit syrups I found in the preserves up in the top corner. This is not in the mixer section. These I found actually in with the jams and that at Food Lion. And what I did with this is just the blueberry, and this is all sugar. This is just pure sugar. These are just corn syrup, sugar, water, blueberry juice. Blueberry juice is kind of far down on this. You can make these if you wanted to. This is one I would do with this blueberry preserves. But in a pinch, if you just want to do something quick and easy, I mean, you can put this on the kids' pancakes. You can make on blueberry milk if you want. But this one actually does really, really well. Just a small dollop of that in the mule, and this is what we call our black and blue mule from Edna. Edna taught me this one. She's actually makes it with really fresh blueberries, and it's just amazing. She was at 616 when they had that restaurant, and she made this. It became a favorite of ours. That little blueberry just kind of plays with the blackberry. Still amazing with this. So if I was going to do this one, I would do the blackberry whiskey, just ginger beer, a squeeze of lime. You can add the blueberry if you want. You can make your own blueberry with your jam if you want to, or you can make it with fresh blueberries or frozen blueberries like I did last week. And add that. I was wondering, I might still have some of those. This is what I did with the blueberries, where I took the frozen blueberries and then I just added equal parts of frozen blueberries, water, and just a little bit of sugar to it. And look at this. Look at how pretty that turns into the cocktail. And then if you wanted to do something where the blueberries are floating around, look at what that does. So it just is your different degrees of how fancy you want to get with your cocktails. So first I would just do blackberry and ginger beer, fabulous cocktail. The second one you can cheat and do some of this little fruit syrup with it if you want to add that, just to add a little dimension to your blackberry mule. And then the next one would be to do the jams. And again, that's just something super simple. I just lost the preserves. This one would be easy. I would just throw this into a one of my mason jars, put this one in it, add 50% boiling water to it, mix that up. That would stay really, really well in one of your mason jars with just a lid on it. You could leave that in the fridge, which is basically what I did with this one. You can see this is a used one of the jars. And then I've got that to just add a nice spoonful to with that. You can do this one with the lemonade. You could do this with peaches in that and add it to your tea or lemonade or whiskey sours, but it just actually kind of kicks it up a little bit. Yeah, the frozen blueberry one really kind of just takes it over the limit. So again, just different levels of how you want that cocktail to go with that. So those are my cocktails that I do with the purees. I would do that with apricots. I would do that with strawberry, raspberry, anything that you want to do as far as whatever flavor profile you want. And then just mix that up and then add it to that. I am going to do one more. I'm going to do a raspberry fashion because this is JD's favorite. Regina, if you're watching, please tell JD that I'm thinking about bringing his back this week. This one is super simple. I would do this with our 90 honey whiskey. And what I'm going to do is add 1 ounce of the honey whiskey to it. And then, hold on one second. That was the honey. And then these were these purees. I don't know if you guys have seen these. These are these real. I get these from Webstaurant now because I cannot find them in restaurants. In grocery stores. If you have seen them, grab them. These are a little bit more expensive. These are between the $5 and $6 range, closer to the $6. But these a little bit goes a long way. So I've taken that honey whiskey. I've got 1 ounce. We would probably add 1.5 ounces if JD was making this. And then I'm just going to put just a little bit of this raspberry puree in it, just enough, probably a teaspoon, 1/2 ounce with this. And then this one, JD's favorite with this one, is just topping this with some ginger ale. And this is how I make the old fashioned with the raspberry. Super simple with this. Switch this out with any of the purees. Exactly this, the honey, the strawberry, the apricot, the peach preserves. Any of these purees, you can do this with peach. The mango would be super good with this. Any of those flavor profiles, blueberry. There's all different kinds of ones with these. But this one is just very, very simple. It's the honey whiskey, a raspberry puree, and then I like it just because, again, I like doing the orange. Probably would do a lemon to keep it, but I just like the way that orange tastes, so I'll keep an orange. I'm going to put this in with that orange and raspberry with just the ginger ale, and you could add bitters if you want to. You don't have to with this one. This one has a really good flavor profile anyway. This one, you really taste that whiskey. It comes out in the 90 honey. With this one, if you didn't think it was sweet enough, this is one that you've got the 90 honey in it. You can add a little bit more of the honey simple syrup to it if you want. Just a little dash of that. All of these, if you have them ready, they're just super easy to add and make your own cocktail with it. Oh yeah, this one's really good. Raspberry old fashioned. Very good. If you can't find this raspberry puree and you have difficulty with that, I would definitely do this one with the raspberry preserves. And I know I have those somewhere on this. Oh, here we go. And this would be really nice because you've got the little seeds if you guys don't mind those. I really like it. I like that kind of texture in that with these. And then this would just be the red raspberry. I would make the puree with this one and add this to the old fashioned. So instead of doing the ginger beer with the Sprite, if you want to do it more seltzer, and then ginger ale if you want it much more kind of old fashioned style. And then this one you could actually do with the ginger beer also. Simple, easy. 90 honey, it gives a nice bold taste with that ginger beer, and then turn this into an old fashioned with that. So I'll do some sort of a raspberry old fashioned with that. Also would be really good with the 1842. I think that 1842 and the raspberry would just pair really, really well. So the last one I'm going to do, because I talked about it the other day, last time we were I was talking about doing, I did a shot last weekend, and that was super fun. It was done with the Irish cream whiskey. I took some sweet cream coffee mate creamer. I added a splash of toasted marshmallow simple syrup, which is these. If you see these at Marshall's or Home Goods, any of these are super inexpensive. This one was $6. Literally a half ounce of this will give you the world's worst sweet tooth. So recommend a little goes a long way. These are perfect in your coffees, but this was really fun to put in with the shot that we did. If you guys had a s'more shot last week, a couple people were a little nervous about the s'more shot till they tried it, and then we had some that decided to do a second one of those in their tasting. I think those were really good, but this is the one that I wanted to do with the thin mint. So I'm going to take just our tasting glass. This would be super simple to do. You can do this and just build this in one of your shot glasses. This is super easy to build in this. I want to do a thin mint with this. I know I used the mint whiskey, but I'm going to use it again just because it's super good like this. I'm going to take and I'm going to fill this with a half ounce of the mint. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our half and half. Now, if you wanted it sweeter, I don't like it super sweet, so I would do this just with the half and half with this. And I'm going to put 1 ounce of that, so I'm going to go almost to the top in my shot glass with this. I'm just building a shot. This would be super simple to do in your little jar where you can mix that up. And this is what I'm going to do. So I've got my half ounce of whiskey. I've got about an ounce, a little over an ounce of my half and half in here. I'm going to put this into my little tasting jar with just a couple of ice cubes in there because I want it to get nice and cold. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Hershey syrup and I'm going to put just a couple of little swirls in this. This is the one we talked about at Whiskey Wednesday, I think about 2 weeks ago. Totally forgot about it last week, so I brought it back today. And look at this with these little lids. You don't even need to have those shakers that you see at the bars and that, because you can put your lid on this. And I can shake this all up. And then I'm going to pour this one back into my shot glass with this. And this is going to be my thin mint. If you want to strain it, you can use one of the little strainers. Use your lid to strain this out, but I just want to taste this. Kathy Doss came when she heard I was doing shots. She showed up, and so she's just here to try. Come on in, Kathy. Now you get to try it.
That's wrong, Kelly.
That's wrong? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about you. Okay, let me rinse this out. I'm going to give Kathy my little thin mint shot for her. Here you go, Kathy. Try that one. That's the thin mint. That's done with the mint whiskey. I did it with some half and half and some chocolate syrup. What do you think?
Oh God, that is good.
Yep. So that's really easy. You can do these. That's, you know, people are saying, well, gosh, what am I going to do with all these jars? Use them. This is what I do. This is how we use them around here. I would mix that with that. That's just half and half, the mint whiskey and a little bit of Hershey syrup. So that might be my shot this week. So mint might get just revisited with this. If I don't do that, I can also do this with the Irish cream and make a nice creamy one with it. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Just to recap, we did the strawberry lemonade. I did it with the strawberry preserves that I broke down with a little bit of boiling water, and I used that in my jug just to be adding to my different cocktails. This makes it super easy with these little ones. You can keep it in your mason jar if you're doing it small. Just do a nice little dollop of that into your lemonade. That would be fantastic. The second one was with our peach whiskey. It was an iced tea where I put a honey simple syrup where I broke down the honey and just use that because it melts really well in the cocktail. The third one was our blackberry mule. Really simple blackberry, but you can add your blueberry. You can add some mint to that. You can just kind of stack that one if you want to make your cocktail, take it up a couple of notches. The fourth one I made was the raspberry old fashioned. Really good with the 1842 or the 90 honey. If you don't use the 90 honey, I would definitely add some of the honey simple syrup or some maple syrup to that. Add your raspberries and then either just some ginger ale. Very, very easy. And then the last one was our thin mint shot that was done with the mint whiskey, some half and half, a little bit of Hershey's. You could do this with just chocolate milk out of the grocery store too. Add your mint to it and you've got your thin mint shot that way. Or if you want to sweeten that up, I would use the sweet cream coffee mate with that. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you've learned a few things about how I make my purees and simple syrups. It's very easy. It's super simple. Kat says I say that all the time, but I like to keep it super easy so that you guys can do this at home. So hope you guys will join us. This weekend, don't forget, we got Sushi Sunday. So we're super excited about that. Hope you guys will come and try some of these tastings with us and enjoy some sushi. So hope you guys had a good week and a great rest of your week, and we will see you this weekend. Anyway, take care. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye. I'm going to get you to turn that off for me, Miss Kathy. Bye.
Kelly, I don't think it's going off. Do you just hit this finish button?
Yep.
How come it's not going off?